Real quick before the video starts, I have a new channel based around green text stories on 4chan, and I'll be uploading videos daily over there. If you're interested, I'll leave a link to the channel in the description. Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael, and we're going to be getting right back into some more Reddit stories. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's begin. This story was posted by a user named New Perception in the Off My Chest subreddit. The post is titled, "My GF took her life after we broke up. Her family is blaming me and spreading my information online. My girlfriend recently took her life. This is by far the most devastating and traumatizing event I have experienced in my entire life. I have spent 5 weeks total in the hospital after 2 failed suicide attempts. My girlfriend was very physically and emotionally abusive. She strangled, struck, and tried to stab me many times. Whenever I tried to end the relationship, she would threaten to take her life and mine as well. I called the police on her and contacted her family, but she would just say she was kidding. Later, she threatened me and told me not to contact her family or the police again because if I did, she would do something terrible. Recently, her family began posting my picture and information online. They have also created a narrative that I encouraged her to take her life and that I am now hiding and fleeing from the police, which is none of these things true. What can I honestly do in this situation?" 2 years later, OP gave us their most recent update. Nearly 2 years ago, my girlfriend tragically took her own life. It remains one of the most devastating, life-altering experiences I have ever endured. The pain and trauma from that event have rippled through every corner of my life, reshaping how I see myself, relationships, and the future. I am just 23, but this experience has aged me far beyond my years. The emotional toll and the weight of everything I have been through have left their mark, inside and out. When I first shared parts of the story, I was overwhelmed, drowning in raw emotion, confusion, and chaos that clouded my ability to fully articulate what I was living through. It was rushed and incomplete. Now, with time, distance, and healing, I want to share a more honest and comprehensive account. Not just to tell my truth, but to shed light on the complex reality of abusive relationships and grief. Our relationship was deeply complicated, painful, and at times frightening. She was physically and emotionally abusive toward me, behaviors that left scars I carry to this day. The abuse was often unpredictable, and I lived with threats and fear that made leaving feel nearly impossible. It is difficult to explain how emotional guilt and hope intertwine. How I clung to the memories of the good moments and believed against evidence that change was possible. But those signs, in hindsight, were warnings I wish I had recognized and acted on sooner. Throughout our time together, I reached out for help multiple times, calling the police and involving her family in a desperate attempt to find safety and support. After her passing, her family attempted to pursue charges against me. However, after a thorough investigation, the police found no grounds for any legal action. The lead detective personally assured me that I had done nothing wrong and that there was no evidence to implicate me in any way. I fully cooperated with the authorities from the beginning. Despite these official findings, her family began spreading harmful and entirely false claims, including that I was fleeing from the police and on the run. This was a complete fabrication. I was never evading law enforcement. I remained present, accountable, and compliant through every step of the investigation. To protect myself and ensure the truth was represented, I hired a highly respected lawyer, someone with a strong legal reputation who has also served in Congress. Their guidance and advocacy helped me navigate the wave of public misinformation and personal attacks that followed. While the harassment has diminished over time, some of the false narratives still linger, continuing to cause pain. Since then, I have faced my own battles, most significantly a suicide attempt that led to a 5-week hospital stay, followed by time in a psychiatric facility. It was one of the darkest and most vulnerable periods of my life. Recovery has been a long, slow process, often painful and exhausting. I now work full-time to manage the weight of mounting medical bills and rebuild some sense of stability. I plan to return to college in the fall of 2026, a step that represents both healing and hope for the future. Through it all, the unwavering support of my friends and family has been a lifeline, reminding me that I am not alone and that it is okay to ask for help. Healing is not linear. Some days are brighter than others, and I am learning every day to be patient and gentle with myself as I rebuild my life from the fragments left behind. Loving someone who hurts you is confusing and painful. Holding on to the hope of who they could be while facing the harsh reality of who they are kept me trapped far longer than I ever imagined. That internal conflict is something I still wrestle with. I share this update to raise awareness about the brutal realities of abusive relationships. Leaving is not a simple decision. Emotional guilt, fear, and hope can create invisible chains that keep people trapped. If you or someone you know is in this situation, please know you are not alone and help is available. Please also remember, suicide is never the answer. No relationship, no matter how difficult, should end with loss of life. A healthy relationship requires emotional wellness. Your life is precious and worth fighting for. She was not a bad person. She was someone deeply struggling with pain and trauma of her own, a pain she could not or would not face with help. That painful complexity shapes how I remember her, and I carry that with both sorrow and compassion every day. I loved her, and I still do, forever and always. No matter how difficult things became, she will always be number one in my heart. She will hold a special place there until the very day I die. If you are reading this and feel alone, overwhelmed, or stuck, please reach out. Talk to a trusted friend, family member, or professional. You do not have to carry this burden in silence. I hope that by sharing my story, I can help others approach situations like this with empathy rather than judgment. We rarely see the full story behind someone's pain. I also kindly ask for respect and privacy as I continue to heal. This path is difficult, and compassion from others means more than criticism ever could. If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health or abuse, please consider connecting with a counselor, helpline, or support group. There is help available, and you are not alone. I am open to answering questions or having honest conversations, whether in the comments or through direct message. If you are going through something or just need someone to listen, I am here. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to everyone who has offered kindness, support, or simply taken the time to read this. Your compassion means more than words can say. Zeke's left nipple said, I can absolutely believe this one. Relationships are complex and grief makes people act in strange, sometimes contradictory ways. I hope OP is able to eventually heal. From my own experience of having a sibling take their own life, so not the same as OP's situation, that takes a long time. It has been 10 years since they died, and it is only now starting to get less painful. Dealing with legal matters makes it harder to overcome because you have to relive the trauma every time there is some kind of development. It took 8 years for our family's case to be properly seen by a coroner, and it was very unsatisfactory, but there is so much relief once it is over, regardless of the outcome. To be vague, my sibling took their own life while under supposed professional care. However, it turned out that the place they were at was not actually equipped to deal with someone on suicide watch, and they never should have been sent there, from the hospital mind you, in the first place. My sibling's psychologist and the hospital involved to this day insist they did nothing wrong and that my sibling showed no signs of being suicidal, which is complete nonsense since it came as no surprise to my family. The only acknowledgement we received was from the facility they stayed at, which has since been closed down, although I do not know if it was solely due to this or if they were facing other issues as a business. The Fickle Mermaid said, I think the change in tone was because he has been through a lot, and after being accused of something awful and taking legal advice, he is trying to explain himself thoroughly to avoid misunderstandings and effectively present a defense. He approaches situations defensively now and will probably never be able to truly trust anyone again, only to be accused of lying about it. So frustrating. This next post was made in the AITA subreddit by a user named Icy Resident. The post is titled, I moved out without saying anything. I am a 23-year-old female and currently live with my parents. I have been dating my boyfriend, a 24-year-old male, for almost a year now, and we have known each other for many years. Recently, he and I started talking about the future and when we would like to move in together. Originally, we were talking about waiting another year so I can finish college. However, after my mom caught wind of him and me having these conversations, she lost her mind. She told me that I should not even be thinking about a future with my boyfriend at this point in my life, and that he and I needed to back off our relationship. Then she went as far as telling me that I am not allowed to see him more than once a week for a couple of hours, and that he will no longer be allowed over at the house anymore. Since it is her house, she said she expects me to respect that. My mom is very controlling and manipulative, and I have spent most of my life doing whatever she wanted to make my life easier. However, I am ready to move out, and my mom would physically stop me if I tried to leave. But she and my dad are going to some convention this weekend, and my boyfriend and I plan on moving me out while they are gone. So am I the asshole for packing up my things and leaving without saying anything? Update. So my boyfriend and I have officially decided to go through with getting me out of my parents' house. I have had my job saving boxes for me for the week, and I have been storing them at his house. My parents leave town tomorrow morning, and tomorrow night after work, when my sister goes to bed, my boyfriend and I will start packing everything up. None of my family has any clue that my boyfriend and I signed and paid for the lease on a really nice apartment about 20 minutes away from my parents. Both my therapist and my boyfriend's therapist are telling us that it is in my best interest to leave if I want to be able to grow as a person. My friends say that my mom is controlling and that I am 23 and need to get on with my life. Truthfully, while I agree with all of this, I feel guilty. I do not plan on cutting off all contact, and everything is signed and paid for, so there is no going back now. Am I irrational for feeling guilty about all of this? Or am I a jerk for leaving without saying anything? Update 2. My boyfriend and I have officially moved in together. My mom is extremely angry. She called me and yelled at me for 30 minutes and told me that I was alone and that I had no one to turn to. She told me that everything is always about me and that she would be calling my therapist because clearly I must have lied if my therapist was telling me to leave. She and my dad are repossessing my truck even though I am paying for it because it is in my dad's name. They say me having it is a liability for them. My mom called me yesterday telling me she was worried that I may be living with a sociopath. She said she spoke to my therapist and my therapist told her that she did not tell me to leave. My mom then called me and asked if she and my dad could come pick me up and talk to me. They claimed that my boyfriend has manipulated me into cutting off my family when he has actually done the exact opposite. Throughout this process, my boyfriend has actually been encouraging me to reach out and even said that my family was welcome to come over. He even said that if they wanted him to leave the house when they come to see me, he will do so because he does not want to keep me from my parents. My mom has reached out to other family members and spoken to them. I am not aware of what she said to them, but they sent me a message telling me they did not wish to get involved. My mom has made not one, but 2 Facebook posts telling everyone how I have abandoned my sister, a 27-year-old female, and left her to die. She has gone as far as telling everyone my boyfriend is abusing me, which is a lie. She even said in her most recent post that she was going no contact and asked everyone else to do the same because if they did not, they would be supporting an abuser. For your information, this is not me whining and crying about my choices. I am fully aware that these are the consequences of my actions and my choices. I made my bed and have to lie in it. I am not asking for pity. The Reddit users asked for an update, so I am providing one. Social Distraction said, did OP ever say anything about her sister besides her being a heavy sleeper? The mom claiming she left the sister to die came out of nowhere, and I am guessing it is a lie or exaggeration. Edit to add, I looked at the other comments and OP said this about her sister. She cannot drive due to injuries from an accident in 2021, but she is independent for pretty much everything else. OK Caterpillar said, the mom yelled at her for 30 minutes, next time hang up earlier. To this comment, user Suspicious Treat said, I let my ex-boyfriend yell at me twice for that long when I was in my early 20s because he was concerned for my safety after I did normal young adult things. I was kind of used to my parents flying off the handle aggressively when they did not get their way, so it seemed normal and I was kind of ashamed I made anyone worry about me. It took me forever to learn that this was not okay and that I could walk away or fight back because not a single person in my life said a damn word about any of it. Years later, I had to hear about how much they hated him or that they were concerned for me. This third post was made in the same subreddit by a user named Haunting Lime. The post is titled, I told my wife that my childhood friend will never forgive her for what she did. My wife, a 32-year-old female, and I, a 34-year-old male, have been married for 6 years and together for 10. We have a 4-year-old son. A few years ago, my close childhood friend, a 34-year-old female, got married. We have been extremely close since we were kids. Both our families were dysfunctional in different ways. At one point, my dad cheated on my mom with her mom, they got married, divorced a year later, and we basically ended up abandoned by both sides. Through all that, we became really close to each other. She even has 2 tattoos that relate to our bond. I would have gotten a tattoo too, but I'm sort of scared of needles. My wife was actually close to my friend too, and never showed signs of being insecure about our friendship until postpartum hit. After our son was born, she really struggled. Her emotions were all over the place, and she became extremely insecure about my relationship with my friend. I was supposed to be man of honor at my friend's wedding, help plan things, and be a big part of the ceremony. But my wife was so anxious and uncomfortable, she begged me not to attend. It made me really sad, but I chose my wife. I told my friend I couldn't go and told her why. She was really hurt by it, not angry, just really sad, but said she understood. A couple of months later, my wife fully recovered and apologized to both me and my friend. I forgave her. My friend, however, did not. When my wife reached out to my friend to apologize, my friend was polite but direct. She said she never wanted to speak to her again. She did not yell or make a scene, she just drew a boundary. Honestly, I get it. It was a once-in-a-lifetime day, and she had leaned on me for years, and I bailed. I still feel guilty about it. My friend and I still talk regularly. Nothing inappropriate, we are just close and always have been. Recently, my wife asked if there was any chance my friend would forgive her. I told her the truth. No, that ship sailed. My wife got sorta quiet, looked sad, and has not brought it up again, but I wonder if I was too blunt. Am I the asshole for not giving my wife hope and just telling her forgiveness probably isn't happening? Update. I did not expect the sheer gravity of responses I received. Reading through everyone's perspectives really opened my eyes. A lot of you reminded me that my wife went through a really tough mental condition postpartum, and regardless of how much it hurt my friend, my wife does not deserve to be punished forever for it. So, a couple of days ago, I had a long, honest talk with my friend. I told her that my wife and I are a package deal. And while I understood why she was so hurt and disappointed, my wife had already repented and apologized enough. I told her that if she truly valued our friendship, she needed to hash it out with my wife so we could all move forward. It was a really emotional conversation. My friend was very sad at first, and we talked a lot about the past and how things had changed. Eventually, she agreed. Later that day, she called my wife, apologized for holding the grudge, accepted my wife's apology too, and they had a nice, happy talk. My wife was honestly so relieved and happy. It felt like a huge weight was lifted. During my talk with my friend, she also said she really misses hanging out with me like we used to before all of this marriage drama. She said she would accept the apology, but she just wants to spend more one-on-one time with me again. I accepted that, told her I appreciate her honesty, and assured her that I still value our friendship deeply. She seemed really happy about it. So yes, that is probably my final update. My wife is happy, my friend has let go of the resentment, and I feel like I finally did right by both of them. Thank you all for your advice. It really helped me see what I needed to do. Agnes B said, "Sorry, my wife will not let me come to the wedding because she is recovering from a heart attack. What a bitch, right?" This was the best comment. So stark. And OP still does not get it. His wife has apologized and repented enough for having had medical issues. Pile of Puppies said, "Well, that is a great way to talk about your decision to spend the rest of your life with the one you love." Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video, and thank you also to partner of the channel, GamerSupps. Use code DLAM to support the channel and get 10% off of your purchase, link in the description. I'm sure many of you like me have a hankering for daily caffeine, so go check them out. Lately, I've been a big fan of Titty Milk and Acid Rain, but they've got dozens of other flavors for y'all to try out. Anyway, thanks again for reaching the end, and I hope you all have an amazing passage of the next 24 hours.